actually Todd Bodine in the 92, and that's Andy Kirby in the 49. They're one lap down in 9th and 10th. We have 8 cars on the lead lap.
And all of this because of a 27-car pileup that took out more than half the field. There's that second pack. Tim Fedowa pokes the nose out with that white car, catch a little fresh air.
And our point leader is now up, Sprague, up to 16th position. Got out, got his car going. He's probably the best wrecked car out there right now.
Scott Wimmer and Ron Hornaday have returned to the garage area and are out of the race. Dick Berger.
Well, a lot of conversation between Kenny Wallace, Rick Gay, his crew chief, and his spotter. Kenny is particularly concerned about the possibility of running out of gas. And about 5 laps ago, he keyed the radio and said, no matter what you do, don't run me out of gas. Then a couple of laps ago, Rick Gay came on his radio and told the crew, he said, lap 65, we don't want to go beyond that. So the other question is, 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires. You take track position, you try to stay together. What do you do? And that argument has been ongoing between Kenny Wallace and his crew for about 10 laps.
Now, on hot days such as this, NASCAR, which allows 7 men over the wall to service the car, will occasionally, and today they will, allow another crewman to go over the wall, an 8th man to service the driver. And that could be a big advantage for Stacy Compton because that 8th man can service the driver and service that decal that's flapping over the cowl at the same time.
You know, Darrell, those 3 guys out front, I agree with Kenny Wallace. They pitted on about lap 16. That's 101 laps to go. They can run about 55 to 60 laps on fuel. Just break it down. Run 50 and 50. Don't take a chance of any of these cars with a 30-something second lead on 4th place, Jeff. Why chance it? Why try to stretch that fuel mileage?
You wouldn't, and that's a good, smart play right there. That's what you and I would be trying to do because that's what our experience has played out. Hopefully these guys are thinking the same thing. But one thing I want to bring up, guys, don't forget that second group was behind them. Hank Parker, Jeff Purvis, Tim Fedowa. That group right there, they're kind of faced with another decision. It's a little bit different. Do we put on 4 or do we put on 2? Because we don't want to get any further behind the leader. We might need to gamble. Just put on 2, get in and out as quick as we can, try to stay together because this lead pack has been gaining on them. And in case there is another accident or a caution for debris on the racetrack, we don't want to go a lap down.
The cars that were racing for 7th and 8th, Casey Mears and C.W. Smith, are on pit road. Steve?
And Mike, the retired Pennsylvania State Trooper C.W. Smith takes just right side tires and they get it full of gas. He's back on down pit road. Service is done for C.W. Smith.
And they were pretty much running together. Casey Mears is well off pit road now. C.W. Smith is just now exiting pit road. It's kind of important those guys try to get back together. You're not going to run fast by yourself. It's hard to even run fast with 2 cars hooked up when you've got another pack out there.
There are still 15 cars in the garage that have not been withdrawn from the race that are under repair, trying to get back out and run a few laps. So far, the most successful of those that have returned is Jack Sprague, the point leader, who is now shown in 16th place.
And Mike, that's going to pay off so much for him down the road. Getting back out there, picking up these positions. He was the point leader coming in. I mean, he's thinking big picture, and that's what all these guys that are working on their cars are thinking.
All right, pit stops among the leaders, 2nd and 3rd. They leave Compton out there, and Keller comes to pit road with Kenny Wallace. Now, the man allowed to service the driver cannot pull that decal from Stacy Compton's car. That 8th man is only allowed to service the driver and clean the windshield.
But I think that'd be something easy for the Jack man to reach across there and pull that off. Dick Berger.
Well, Kenny Wallace simply had to pit. They were afraid they were going to run this thing out of gas. They wanted to pit all 3 cars at the same time. 59 Stacy Compton has, shall we say, not played well with the other guys. They have very much felt as if it's been a matter of the 57 and 48. Keller and Wallace working together. Kenny Wallace out of the pit area. He's gone. DeMatt.
Dick, a 2-tire change for the 57 of Jason Keller. A little trouble, though, on the right front, but he does catch up to the 48 car as they exit pit road. But the miscue was the 59 was going to come with them, and at the last minute they thought they could go 1 more lap. So, okay, go 1 more, and then the other 2 cars had already peeled off.
All right, Randy LaJoie has taken his car back to the garage after running a couple of laps, and here comes Compton down pit road.
Well, the 57 and the 59 are pitting pretty close together, so he may not want to come in with maybe the 57 getting in his way as he came into his pit box.
Matt?
Right on the hood, you can see that the decal has sucked right up around the cowl, but the entire decals are ripping it off. You can see it going down inside the cowl. Tad Geshek, the co-owner, pulls it out. A 2-tire change.
Earnhardt back in the race. We saw there briefly. A lot of tape on his car.
Pit road speed is 55 miles an hour. Jason Keller, Kenny Wallace in the middle of the tri-oval. I mean, Stacy Compton, I think he's going to be okay. He lost a little ground by running that one lap by itself, but he's going to have to get up to speed in a hurry.
And they wanted to pack that thing full of fuel. So
Hank Parker Jr. waving. He's going to pit this time. That's the signal.
And you can tell he was waving, but he hadn't backed off the throttle yet. But he's just alerting the guy behind him. I'm going to come off of 4 and I'm going to go to pit road.
He's now the second place car. You see behind Jeff Purvis. Will they all pit together?
Looks to me like they're going to. Yeah, they're all coming down together. Smart move on everybody's part. 57 car just went around Compton up in turn 4 to take the lead.
And Ashton Lewis comes back on the speedway along with Jamie McMurray after damage and Chad Chaffin. Steve?
And Hank Parker could not get it slowed down. An air gun gets caught up on the 36. No brakes for Hank Parker. Just heard him say it. The 37 of Jeff Purvis is in with no trouble, but Hank Parker Jr. could not get the 36 slowed down. Brake pedal broke on the 36.
Well, what happens, Darrell, these speedway cars, a lot of teams get carried away sometimes trying to save weight. They don't think the brake pedal's that important. They'll hand make the brake pedals, drill holes in them to lighten them up. It may have bit this group right here.
It may have. And every time I see a brake, they make them out of aluminum and they drill holes in them. They think, well, we don't need the brakes on a speedway like this. Wrong again.
I mean, just look at the pit time. We're over 40 seconds. They just started changing the right side tires.
About a pound of weight cost them probably a top 5 finish today.
And they'll get a penalty because they ran over that air hose and dragged it, so he'll be held in the pits for a timed penalty.
There you see our leaders, probably their last pit stop complete. They're back together.
And this is one of the things that Jeff can tell you. Jeff, how many times I tell you, don't beat yourself. And that's how you beat yourself right there, by doing things that are unnecessary, that cost you a penalty, and your brakes are out.
Here's Parker, the 36, coming on pit road with Tim Fedor. There's Purvis in.
You can see had the wheels locked up, but then the pedal broke and the car took off.
Darrell, if you remember, that happened to us exactly at the same racetrack a few years ago. We had 2 lighter rods between the brake pedal and the master cylinder, if you remember, and you had to make a panic stop. And when you did, it bent that rod. You didn't have any brakes. We just about had the same thing happen to us that day, but fortunately, I think we were able to run second that day in the course of the race. But I remember that you were quite agitated at the fact you didn't have any brakes.
This has long been referred to as the Speedway of the Strange. Strange things happen here that don't happen at any other racetrack.
Yeah, we don't even want to go there because we'll be here the rest of the day telling you all the weird things that have happened here through the years.
So Jason Keller out front with Stacy Compton and Kenny Wallace after pit stops.